Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and I just wanted to make a quick little video just explaining a little bit of a change that's happened recently. I've basically changed recording softwares indefinitely. So for those who don't know, I've basically been using, so for a while, for a long time, I have been using XSplit Broadcaster to record all of my videos since pretty much day one. So since day one, since I started doing stuff on YouTube, I have pretty much been using XSplit Broadcaster to record all of my videos. But if you look back in on the last month or so, you might have noticed that there's been a few video delays and there's been a few little ranty type videos and videos in general just talking about little issues I've been having with XSplit, and I've decided that I've had enough. So that's basically it. You know, touch wood, I'm putting my foot down and I am leaving XSplit Broadcaster indefinitely. I'm leaving XSplit Broadcaster and I'm just moving over to OBS, moving on to OBS permanently. So I now record all of my videos on OBS. It's a much better software. There's a few, I'm still learning stuff here and there. The reason I didn't use OBS for a long time is because it was a little bit different from XSplit from what I was used to. So obviously it's a little scary at first. I had to relearn everything. But now that I look at it, I'm finding that it's not that different from XSplit. Like some of the things I thought it didn't have are just in different places and are named different things. For example, the presentations are different presentations are still there. They're just under a different name and tab. So it's pretty much the same thing. So again, I've moved over to XSplit from XSplit to OBS indefinitely. I don't really plan to go back to XSplit for anything really, since again I have been using it since day one, and I have had a lifetime membership with them. But again, lately I've just been having way too many issues with the videos being recorded out of sync, and I've just had enough. So again, screw XSplit Broadcast. I mean, again, thank you for everything you've done over the last few years, but yeah, I think it's probably time that I change over to OBS indefinitely because it does seem to be a lot better. It does work with most things. Like it works with my Elgato. It works with most things I've tried. There's just one little issue where it's not recording properly. The one issue I still have with it is basically it's basically abandonware games. So abandonware games and games from the abandonware type era, so the early 2000s, you know, basically from that type of era, it's having trouble with. Let me show you what I mean. So basically, it looks normal for me. It's normal for me. But for you, but on OBS, it should be recording in just like the top corner, like the black screen in just the top corner, and that's the issue. You don't usually see this in the videos because I usually resize it, but I can't do it with every single one. If I do it with every single one, some games it's all right with. Like with this one, it's okay, but for other games, it's not as easy to resize in. It's not as easy to resize. So okay, so here is another example of a abandonware game or freeware game from that era. Here is another example of a game breaking, as you can see, or well, what should be recording is basically it still looks normal for me. It still looks perfectly fine for me. But in the recording, it should be just like how Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was recording, in like a big black screen, and it's recording in the top corner, like the top left corner, I think. anyway, that's how it should be. That's how it should be recording if everything is correct. Now this is a bit of an issue, like I said. Now the thing is, a lot of these games have been doing this. Like, it doesn't do this with every single game. It literally just seems to be the abandonware games, you know, games from the early 2000s, or just those types of games. Most games are fine. It's just those types of games. And unlike with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, this one isn't as easy to resize. I have tested it. I have tried to resize it. But when I've resized it, it's just kind of, the more I've done it, the crappier the quality has gotten. It's just, you know, degraded the quality the more I've resized it. So naturally, I'm going to need to find some kind of method to counteract that, just in these cases where it happens. Because again, this doesn't do it for most games. Like, it records most games perfectly fine. It's just for these few little older games, I'm going to need an extra step, which luckily I think I found a fix for those rare games when this does happen. Okay, so I mentioned that I have found a fix for any games that don't record properly in OBS, which again, most games are generally typically fine anyway, but for the odd occasion when a game freaks out and just basically records in that corner, like I showed before. Again, it's mainly just for abandonware games, or just games from that kind of era, you know, the old school type game like Mad Father, or just any game from the early 2000s. I have found a fix for, which is right down here, DXWin exe. Basically, this is kind of like an emulator. If I open it up, as you can see, I've only got a couple of games in here at the moment. But basically, any game that's freaking out and is not recording properly like it should be, basically, it's kind of like an emulator. Basically, this allows me to basically emulate any like old school game from that era, and I can make it behave however I want. So for example, if I open here and then I go to modify, just there, see, it allows you to obviously choose the name, like name it yourself, and then, you know, path, all that kind of stuff. The game directory, exactly where the game's going to open, and then you can look through all here and just customize exactly what you want. You can customize the aspect ratio. You can customize whether you want the game in full screen, whether you want it in window. You can customize all of this kind of stuff to however you like. So it's very, very versatile. You can do a lot with it to get the game to behave however you want. But yeah, so running window, terminate on close. You can do a lot with it. You can do a lot with it. But let's close that for now. And basically what I want to show is if I open up Mad Father again, this time through DXWin, not like before I opened it just normally and it freaked out, but now if I open it through DXWin, if you just give it a sec, see, you get this little animation, and then the game opens up and you should be seeing what you usually see, like what you saw for the Mad Father extras. That's what you should be seeing now. So basically the game, as long as you open it through that emulator, through that software, it basically emulates the game to behave more like a more modern game. So again, you can have it in a window, you can have it in you can have it in full screen, you can have it in window, whatever you want. But basically it just basically makes the game record how it should be, so it's less work for me. Again, before I would have had to, like, you know, go through the process of trying to rescale this, resize it in editing, and not every game can do that. So in any situation that happens where the game's not recording properly, like in a corner or whatever, as long as I open it through that, I shouldn't have any problems recording. So again, OBS, I'm pretty much relying on OBS for everything at this point. And in the odd occasions when the game's not recording properly, I can just open it through DXWin, and that seems to at least fix the issue. There may be other cases where, because I think Aragorn said it doesn't work with every single game, like with like 32-bit or something it doesn't work with, so if that happens, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for the most part, this seems to work. At least it works well enough for what I need at the very least, and if there is some kind of issue, I'm sure we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So basically, I have switched over to OBS indefinitely, permanently. I have no intention of going back to XSplit after all that. I mean, again, it's been a good software for me, but over the past couple of months, there's just been way too many issues. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there that I have moved over to OBS permanently. So that's now my permanent recording software. It's been good. XSplit's been good to me for the first few years, but it's just become too unreliable. So thank you, XSplit, but good riddance. And hello, OBS. So anyway, that's going to about do it for this video. I just want to throw this out here, just to let you guys know, and also just so I've got something, so I can actually show this properly in the closing of the year video, the yearly look back, but since that's coming up soon anyway as well. But as always, thank you guys for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I will see all of you guys next time.